adults that work Vacation Bible School. It takes a lot to pull that off here. And they always do such a good job because they have so many. WMU, what's it called now? BYU, Baptist Young Women, whatever they're calling it now, the women's groups that handle GAs, Girls in Action, and the Mission Friends and the mission type programs for kids and adults. Youth ministry, always needs helpers. They're having between 80 and 90 youth on Wednesday nights now. They need adults up there to help. You know, they've split them into junior high and high school. They need more adults. If you have a heart for youth, Wednesday night youth might be the place for you. If you have the gift of evangelism, we need decision counselors. I think Dr. Cox has made a very wise decision in that when somebody goes forward, you know, he talks to them briefly and then he hands them over to a decision counselor. And that's to allow him to receive more people. If he were to just go and counsel the first person that came up, then nobody else would feel like they can go up there. So, you know, the decision counselors are very important to just go there and be there so that if he needs you, you're there. And he generally, you know, he has certain people he calls on for children and certain people that, you know, so if you tell him, I prefer to only work with adult women, or I prefer to work with just kids, you know, he'll remember that if you're a decision counselor, and he'll look over to you. If the kid comes forward, he looks over to see which one he thinks, you know, is most comfortable dealing with kids. If it's a woman that comes up, then he'll look over to see who feels more comfortable with the woman. If it's a whole family, then, you know, he has that, but it requires quite a few people each Sunday for early service and for regular service as well as the evening service, just so that he can have those different categories. And, you know, I have been seeing it where all the decision counselors were busy, and that's exciting. You know, then he can look out in the audience and see, you know, the people that he knows have been. You have certain Sundays you work, you're assigned a Sunday, that he can look out there and see other people. So always need decision counselors.
It's neat too because since our church is growing so much, it's a neat way to meet people that, you know, you wouldn't get to know. So I enjoy that part of it.
That's true. And the decision counselor generally, you know, is the one that follows up with the person and gives them a kind of a welcome kit with a directory and that kind of thing in it. So you get to meet those families a little bit more too. Okay, mission teams. We have short-term missions and as well as the different groups that go out on I wanted to say search and rescue, but we don't do search and rescue. The ones that go out and work on the different areas that have disaster relief needs. So we have all different types of mission teams. Just let us know what type you're interested in. We'll get you situated with the right one. Special blessings, we've talked about other nights where expectant mothers and experienced mothers are paired up together during pregnancies. Again, another opportunity for visitation. If you have a gift of hospitality, that's where we need greeters, Sunday school greeters, ushers, youth ministries. You know, sometimes we just need somebody to host a fellowship. And maybe you don't want to be in with the youth every week, but maybe you could host a fellowship. If you have a nice yard where they can play frisbee or whatever it is that they usually go out and do, you know, maybe you can just be the host. Or if you don't have that, maybe you can help provide the refreshments for somebody else that's hosting. So we can pair you up. If you have a gift of hospitality, we can make sure that you have a way of using that gift. If you have the gift of giving, of course, there's always the budget offering, building family offerings, the benevolence offerings, which are taken up at Lord's Supper. There's the car ministry where you can donate your vehicle. And there's mission offerings. So lots of opportunities in giving. If you have the gift of exhortation or shepherding, from care, we need care group leaders, children's ministry, senior adult ministry, single adult ministry, the special blessings ministry, visitation, and youth ministry. We've covered most of these already, but you know, if you have that ability to be a shepherd, those are some areas that you might want to consider. If you have the gift of mercy, again, care group leaders, Good Sam is a good place because you meet lots of different people there. The homebound ministry, nursing home ministry, and then again, special blessings prayer ministry. Lots of them there. Does anybody have a ministry that they are involved in that's not on the list that they could tell us about?
One thing I wanted to say about the greeters and the counselors, they do have many class or something to explain to the people what they need to do, and they make their choices of who they want to, which service. They do prepare you.
Yes, they do prepare you. Like if you want to be a decision counselor, then you have to have gone through Dr. Cox's, I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the level 2 classes.
Anatomy of a Christian Witness.
Yes, Anatomy of a Christian Witness. You know, he asks that you have gone through that and that you be able to witness to somebody, you know, be able to share with them. And with the greeters, they're given some training. You're not thrown into just really, I can't think of any of the groups here where you're just thrown in. You get what you need. If you want to participate in something, you're very seldom ever out there on your own. They always try to pair you up. Even like visitation. If you come to visitation for the first time, you will most likely be paired up with somebody that's been to visitation a lot of times. You know, so that when you go, the first year that I went to visitation, I probably never said a word. You know, I was just standing there, you know, outside the door, hi, and you know, because I always went with somebody more experienced, and so you're never, and you know, you need that. They like us to go in pairs. So if you don't feel like you can talk to anybody, that's fine. Just come and say, I want to be paired up with somebody that will do the talking, and they'll take care of you. But you know, that way you can still go out in pairs, because I've been out on visitation by myself, and sometimes, you know, when you look at that address, you don't know what you're getting into. And I've driven into some neighborhoods before that I thought, oh, I really shouldn't be here by myself. I should at least call and tell somebody where I am, because you know, I'd leave and go out and nobody would even know where I was going. If I don't show up for a week, they won't know what area of town to look in. But, so we do like to be in groups. Any other ministries that you can tell us about?
I've done some with hair.
Pardon?
With hair.
Yeah?
I mean, and then like at the other church, like, you know, some of the, like, the Bible speaker did her hair.
Oh, okay.
For funeral people that, you know, their spouse has died or something, not do their hair for the funeral, because I'm sure they don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But it wasn't like a ministry of the church. It was just something that I did.
That you can do, but if we know, you know, if the people in the church know that you can do that,
Yeah.
then it helps to make, you know, the leadership of the church aware of your abilities and where you are interested in serving. Because then they can say, you know, if somebody comes in and they need that type of help, they know who to call.
And they could start a ministry.
And they do that at our nursing home once a week. They do the people's hair free. So it's something
Well, they had, my daughter went on a mission trip too, and they had one that was a beautician and one that was a masseuse. And they, for all the missionaries down there, they're treated the women.
Oh, how
Nice.
nice.
Real nice.
Do something like that.
Yeah. See, lots of different ways to use lots of different things that, you know, resources and the things that you can do, those experiences. Who would ever think that being a masseuse could be used in ministry? I mean, if you just sit and think about it, it doesn't make sense. But when you,
Missionaries would appreciate
when
it.
you really think about the opportunities that are there, there's big